Thank you very much, John. I appreciate your comments. Next, I'd like to have one of Lodi's finest, Fernando Martinez, come.
First of all, I want to thank the Breakthrough Project Board for inviting me here. I'm very honored to be invited to the celebration of a great man and a great movement. My story began 6 years after Dr. King gave a speech, the I Have a Dream speech, in the outskirts of Mexicali, Mexico. Mexicali is just south of the border of California. I was born into a dad who had a second grade elementary education. My mom went to fifth grade. I have four brothers and sisters, or 4 sisters, 1 brother. And again, things weren't going well for us in Mexico. My dad was a farmer, and there was issues with droughts and plagues and all other stuff with the farming community. So he decided to move us to Stockton. He couldn't afford to get green cards for all the kids, so he took 3 of us. I was 6 years old when he brought us up to Stockton. Like Chief Helm says, I grew up in South Stockton. It was a rough neighborhood. I wish I could say like Mr. Carr that I only got in 1 fight. It was almost a daily basis. I would get jumped either by people who made fun of me because I couldn't speak the language, or people from my own race who were Mexican American who now you're either Mexican or you're Mexican American or you're Chicano. So there was a lot of variations of what kind of Mexican you were, and those are things I didn't understand when I was small. I thank those kids for jumping me because I think that all those fights have helped me now in my law enforcement career when I have to go hands-on with somebody. But going to school, one thing, growing up and going to school, I see my kids going to school and I see these schools, I mean, classrooms, every kid has iPads and laptops and all that. When I went to school Burbank Elementary, and it's in South Stockton. There was only 10 of us that were non-English speakers at the school. So in order for a teacher to have a classroom, you needed 15 students. So they put the 10 of us in the attic of the school. We actually had to go into the attic, clear a spot so we could put our desks. There was a bunch of desks in the attic, so we had to clear a spot for our classroom. And that was our classroom for 2 years until we had 5 more non-English speaking students, and then we were able to go into a classroom. So I always tell my kids, they come home and say, oh, we didn't have enough laptops for all the students. I go, remember, I was in the attic for 2 years. So again, growing up, I went to high school in Stockton. I started thinking about belonging. Dr. King talked about belonging and acceptance. So I wasn't really sure what group I belonged to. Again, I had a group of friends that were from Mexico. I had a group of friends that were Mexican American. I got involved in sports, so now I was exposed to other races. I went to high school when we still had busing. I don't know if I'm sure some of the more experienced of us, we remember when there was busing. They used to bus the kids from North Stockton, which was the nicer place in Stockton. They used to bus them to the south side and bus the kids from the south side to north side. So I was exposed to a lot of cultures. I was in middle school when the Southeast Asian immigrants came in. So we were exposed to their culture. So we had to do a lot of acceptance if we wanted to survive in middle school and high school. Again, I felt comfortable. I learned the language. I'm still learning the language. Some of my coworkers will tell you I make mistakes when I get confused with words. It took me 30 years to know the difference between kitchen and chicken. I should get those confused all the time. But again, having a support system for my parents, even though again they didn't go to school, they weren't book educated, they were life educated, and I'm happy to say that all my brothers and sisters were all college graduates. They're all professionals. They're all teachers. They tell me I'm the only one who went to the dark side because I came to life. But again, in high school, I had a sense of pride for the acceptance and the opportunity this country gave me and my family. So I had a sense of I need to give back. So I joined the Army. I joined the Army for 4 years. And if it wasn't for a little small conflict, the first Gulf War, I would have became a citizen while I was in the Army. Once that first Gulf War broke out, all administrative duties were halted. So again, I come out of the Army and I still want to give back to the community, so I became a police officer. And I was lucky enough to get hired here in Lodi. I became a citizen while I was being hired here in Lodi, which was a great experience. The only time that I'm torn between my U.S. citizenship and my Mexico citizenship is when the U.S. and Mexico play in the World Cup soccer. So we gotta have a balance there. But that's the only time. This country again it's been great to me. Working here in Lodi, it's given me the opportunity to not only flourish in my career, but it's given me the opportunity to educate other officers of different cultures. For years, people would say, how come people don't look at me in the eye when I'm asking them a question? Well, in certain cultures, it's a sign of disrespect if you look at somebody in the eyes who's older than you or has a different level from you. So I've been very happy to be able to do that for fellow officers here in Lodi. We talked about the history of Lodi. When I got hired here, we had some old school cops here. And I was welcomed by old school cops. They were asking me, well, man, how many of you guys are we going to hire? And things like that. But I'm happy to say Lodi has changed. The Lodi Police Department has definitely changed. We're a very diverse police department. We've sent people to classes where they learn different languages. We've taught different languages. We have cultural training. So I'm happy to say that Lodi has made great strides. Our police department is very diverse. And we train our officers how to deal with different cultures. So again, I know I went off the questions a little bit, but I've been very grateful to this country for the opportunity it gave me and my family. One of the things that I do and one of the things that my brothers and sisters do is now we try to help those others that come after us. Help them fulfill their dreams. Because it's hard. Are we going to meet people that try to hold you back because of where you came from or who you are or what you look like? Definitely. Do we allow that to hold us back? No. We work harder. We stay true to our values and we work and we persevere. This country is one of those countries. It has its faults, but it's the greatest country in the world. I was lucky enough when I was in the military to travel. And it's the greatest country in the world. People complain about police services. Try to go to other countries and commit crimes in other countries. You'll see what cruel and unusual punishment is. It's amazing. It's a great country that allows us to fulfill our dreams. It allows us to work hard. It allows us to have our own beliefs and still be part of a community. So again, I'm very proud of being part of Lodi's police department. I'm very proud of being part of Lodi's community. Every day I tell my kids, be thankful for what you have. There's kids, and I have relatives in Mexico that, like Mr. Carr said, they don't have running water. I didn't have running water when I was a kid. I was so excited to have a toilet. I didn't have to work or walk 50 yards to go to the restroom. My message to immigrants is this, is work hard, succeed, and then pass it along. Either give back to your community or help others also fulfill their dreams. Because this is the only country in the world where we can do that. We take people from all corners of the world and we give them an opportunity. And I think that's what most immigrants want. It's just an opportunity. I don't want special treatment. Just give me a chance to show you who I am, what I can do to make my life better, make my community better, make this country better. So again, thank you for the invitation. Thank you.